Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. Today, I am going to show you how to break the game even harder than we did the last bonus episode. And this was after cleaning out the inside of a fish to get access to fast travel, so the world is a lot more open now. And joining me for that process is Seso. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Hello, everyone.
So basically whenever you're at a beach, just press the A button and the whale will come running to you. Also, we recruited that guy. He's not very useful as a tenant, but with what I'm gonna show you today, you're not gonna need the first 3 tenants to be all that great. So today, we are going to emphasize speed rather than what the tenants actually do. And that guy, he just gives you access to a fishing spot, and fishing just isn't usually worthwhile. In most places, all you get are fish that have basically the same effects as items you can buy at a store, just more expensive. Anyways, here's a hidden location. Deis's home, or Bleu's room as it was called in the old translation.
Interesting.
Also, you only needed to talk to one of the NPCs at the beginning, and that would have allowed us to do what we need to do. This turbocharge, as we went over in the last bonus episode, can be used to cook gold bricks, so we will visit this place eventually, even in the main playthrough, just not right now. Anyways, now that we took care of that, we're gonna head back to Township and meet this new Deis woman.
Right, and I'm guessing that she will allow us to break the game.
She'll help. She actually isn't the most broken thing in the game, contrary to what some people will tell you. No, that would be Ryu and his second-tier dragons, but she is definitely like the second or third most broken thing, and more importantly, she has the warp spell, so she's awesome regardless. Also, she has exit, so having warp and exit on the same guy, very cool. Also, Deis is a legacy character from Breath of Fire 1, and she's also a recurring character in the series, although in the 4th game I think she goes under a different name. Interesting character in her own right. But for this game, she's just... Whoa. Audio desync. That was not an editing error, by the way. It just comes that early.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Deis is level 35, first of all. She learns just about everything Nina learns. In fact, I think they share the same spell table. She can warp you to places, as you can see here, and she's also relatively fast and extremely bulky, so she's basically a high-level Nina without any of her weaknesses. She can't really even die, because her ability is something called, I think, Refresh or Shed. It restores all of her HP and all status ailments in exchange for putting a defense down status on her, but it doesn't really matter if you can't kill her in one hit. She's still effectively immortal.
So she's essentially our second best character, right? Maybe behind the monkey.
Yes. And those two we just recruited are McCotti in the bathroom stall. He does absolutely nothing. And we also recruited Wastrel, who, for the price of 1,000 zenny, will eventually get an item called a moon drop once you get enough plot points, but still definitely not worth a recruitment slot. We only went there because we get 2 township tenants for the price of 1 town, which means they're the quickest for filling up your homes.
Right, it's very interesting that the game would offer you a character like this, especially at this stage in the game, right? Because I'd imagine that the game isn't very well equipped, right, to handle her.
And the interesting thing is, unlike the second tier dragons, the game actually does very vaguely hint at her existence. There's this tenant called Watts who will fit in one of the second sets of your houses and is available inside this tent near a town called Melodia. Now, this tent disappears almost immediately once you go through the next plot triggers, but if you do recruit Watts the Quizmaster and do all of his quizzes, his very last riddle is, where does this outstanding sorceress called Deis live? And he tells you she's in Newhaven. So it very subtly hints at her recruitment. It's just very easy to miss.
Well, I wouldn't say that's subtle, since he tells you her location, right? But you have to, well, yeah, you can miss it very easily, so.
Well, you have to know to expand Township, you have to know to recruit the guy, and you have to know that there's a time limit to when he appears and disappears.
That's true, so it's a little convoluted.
Yeah. In any case, what you saw me doing there was buying a bunch of Panaceas or Cure-Alls with all the money I could muster. That's gonna lead into the stat boosters I mentioned, and that guy I recruited, Kalashnikov, he sells a particular weapon of interest called the Royal Dagger or King of DR, depending on the translation, which is a super powerful weapon for Sten or Ryu, and also casts the defense up status condition for free. And that guy we recruited, it's just Hans, same as last time. Still super useful, necessary for the gold brick trick, but you saw him before. I didn't feel the need to read out all his dialogue this time. But a character that I don't think we did get before, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is Deis, the fishmonger. He allows you to buy any fish, well, not any fish, but at least 4 different kinds of fish that'll work for the gold bricks, which means you can do that trick without even leaving Township. So, he just makes life easier for us.
Interesting. Also, I feel like this party that we have is starting to feel like an in-game party. Like something you fight the final boss with.
I mean, it could very well be. I mean, Deis is, well, Deis, and Rand and Sten, you have to feed levels into them for their mandatory plot fights. In fact, Rand actually really likes the Royal Dagger, even though he can't equip it, because he gets into this brutally hard one-on-one fight that's still a bit risky, even if you've been leveling up the whole time, so having that 1.2 times boost to defense is really good. And, by the way, all of these fish will work for the gold brick trick, except for the crappies and garfish. Those will not work. Otherwise called, I think, unagis and baits in the old translation, so steer clear of those.
Right.
Alright, Skyzo, you ready to cook up some fast food?
Yeah, that was very quick.
Indeed. Just throw 4 Panaceas in there. Other items will probably work, but Panaceas are things you can stack. And once you've cooked them up, you feed them to whoever you want to boost their vigor by 1. Now, Ryu has 47 vigor.
It's very nice.
And it's about to get even higher. Do you know why I want Ryu specifically to have a lot of vigor? Like, triple digits worth?
Not really. I mean, the only thing I can think of is his dragon forms, right?
Yep. So if you're using those, well, I'll leave that to you, but yeah. If you are gonna do this, and I wouldn't recommend it, because that's really boring, but if you do, get them up to 100 vigor, and then buy some speed shoes. I'll show you how to get those later. Buy a bunch of wisdom seeds. And then between that and the plus 20 vigor boost that you get from 2 sets of speed shoes, Ryu should outspeed almost everything, except for the things you would never outspeed anyway. Like, I think there's like 3 guys that could outspeed him right now. Maybe 5, and even that list is gonna get shorter as he levels up. There we go.
Well, that's an insane amount of damage.
Indeed. And then just fill him up again with a Wisdom Seed. And you don't even need to restore his AP completely, because like 512 is more than enough. So even a bit less than that is going to be more than sufficient. And yeah, he just outspeeds and kills everything.
Yeah, like, I'm sure we'll find tougher enemies in the future, but for now, I don't see how the game would throw something that we can't handle at us.
It really can't. This is, to be honest, if you do this, this is the part where you may as well shut off the game, because apart from boss fights, nothing is even gonna hit you. It's that good.
Yeah, this would be like the end of the walkthrough if everybody did this.
Yeah, which you can understand why I set a few ground rules.
Yeah, pretty much. This is kind of ridiculous.
But yeah, and going back to Deis, she also has an instant death spell, which instantly kills anything with weak magic resistance. And once she levels up, at least once, which takes a while because she's level 35, but level 36 she also gets the Fireball spell, which is just like Sten's Flame Blast, but twice as strong. So she too can actually wipe out hordes of enemies so long as she outspeeds. And funnily enough, her stat gains are obscene. Like, other characters are getting 2s and 4s in their stats. She's getting like 10s and 12s. So, in a funny way, she levels up just as fast as all the other guys. It's just her stat gains come in leaps and bounds instead of incrementally. She's sort of a funny character that way.
Right. I'm actually really curious how the game is gonna like handle this, or would handle this, like with the final boss. Like, how do we fare against it?
Well, honestly, the final boss isn't the hardest boss in the game. Like, he can be a little tricky, but he's one of those bosses where if you're good enough to get to him, you're good enough to beat him. Let's put it that way.
Right. And I love this outro, by the way. It's very... I like it.
Thank Nitrodon for showing me how to do this. Anyways, that would be all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this bonus. Rest assured, I am not using all of the tricks I showed you here for obvious reasons. And I look forward to advancing the plot in the next episode. Once again, I will show you how to get those speed shoes and that holy scarf, because trust me, those are going to be super good. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you all.
Alright, I'll see you later, YouTube.
Bye.